Okay, welcome to the fourth video of the museum project. As I mentioned, it's a rather long one, so I'm trying to break it down into as many parts as I can. We're going to be finishing up the CSS part for right now. I want to start on the top of page 183. Then I'm going to go into the box model. So what we need to do is click on the footer, and I'm going to do things a little bit differently. We have layout, and you would click on float left here. But I'm going to put it in the CSS file just to show you another way of doing things. So here we have the CSS. Here's the footer. Let me delete this. And I'm going to type float. Hit the enter key. And then we want left. And then make sure that we hit the semicolon. Then we'll move this up here. And we'll get rid of this extra blank line. So that takes care of that, and we'll save this. And let's go back to design. Now, I don't like this the way this works over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the div in code view. Let's go to here, and just before all right, so let's go back, and this gives you a little bit visual of where things are. Okay, this is not centered, so if we wanted to do the text align center, we could. I'm not going to worry about that right now. So let's go into the box model. So the box model consists of four things: the margin, border, padding, and content. And that starts from the outside. The margin is on the very outside, followed by the border, the padding, and the content. What you see is the border, the padding, and the content. You don't technically see the padding, but that's actually used so the content itself, the text or whatever you have in the element, isn't flush against the left or the right of the element itself. And that would be very apparent, especially when you have borders around it and it's a little bit hard to read. So if you take a look at the box model over there, you're going to see that the overall element is 200 plus 10 plus 25 plus 25 in there. That means you have to add them all up together to get the overall value of 260. You're going to see that when we have to subtract 60 in one of the elements itself. All right, so we have design view open, and we have the design file open. So we're going to take the file Getty logo, and we're going to put that into the header itself. So let's just click on, here is the header. And let's make sure that this is the header, which it is. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I always leave the text in there until I need it. So let's go in and go to images. And we want Getty logo. And that takes care of that. Now, I had previously deleted the text ahead of time, but I always recommend leaving it until you need it. So the book does tell you to actually delete it there. So now we have the content here, so we can leave this. And I'm going to hit the enter key here, and I'm going to type on my number 4 about the Getty traveling exhibits and permanent. Boom. All right, so let's go into code view and get rid of the content to make sure that does. So we're going to get rid of this P tag right here. Now you see it. I'm going to click on cut here, and boom. It makes it a lot easier to control what you're actually deleting if you're doing it in in CoView. All right, so now we're going to select the sidebar element in the layout. Now this is where having the tags tell you this is sidebar, this is that when you're doing it in here. So we really don't know for sure which one, so we can click in here and boom, sidebar. If you had content for sidebar, that makes it a lot easier in there. So we're going to go to CSS Designer and and make it easy for yourself. You're going to learn little tricks for yourself to make things easier as you're doing things. So we're in a sidebar over here, and we want to put in a parchment PNG as the background. So let me show you a little trick. I'm clicking on layout, and I'm hitting the down arrow. All right, so what we're going to do now is we are going to go into background. And what I was saying, I actually said wrong. If you use the right arrow, you can change from background to layout and not have to worry about it as well, or you can just click in here. So let's go to background, and we're going to go to the background image, and then we're going to go to parchment, and then we're going to click on OK. And that makes the parchment image in here. It's not actually right, but we're going to use the no repeat option as well. So let's click on no repeat, so we don't have to worry about anything. That's 184, the bottom of 184. So we're going to turn on live view. And then we're going to position it. We're going to position it center and bottom. So we need to go to background position. Click on the %, choose center and bottom. Okay, so we're good to go there. And that is number 9. So it's telling you that there's a problem, that the text for the content for the new section tag goes here, and we're going to take care of that with padding. That's what I was talking about before, what the padding is going to do. So we are now on number 10. So we're going to go to the sidebar. We're going to go back to layout in here, and we're going to find padding. So the first we want to do padding top is 10, 30, 30, and 30. So this is margin. So make sure this is not set. So we want to do 10. 30. 30. And 30. All right, so that takes care of that, but we have too much now. You can see how the width has now expanded in there. So what we need to do is we need to go to the width itself, and we need to change that and subtract 60. Because we added 30 and 30, so we need to subtract 60, and I believe that is now 90. So that takes care of number 11. And we're going to go to the main copy. So let's click on main copy. And it wants us to set the background color to that brown in the parchment. So let's click on background. Let's click on background color. Let's click on the eyedropper. Now it doesn't always match 100%. So let's try this and see what happens. So-so. Not really a big match, but it's close enough for this. And we have to now save the file. So we're good there. That is all of 187. We are now going to define the body tag. So we need to find the body tag, which is not there. We will create it. So click on plus, and you can just start typing BO and body. So that will take care of the body. We will now create stuff over here. So we want to set the shorthand field for the margin to type in 0. And it may or may not do what the book says it does, depending upon how you have the settings in preferences. So we're going to go to the margin. And then we're going to go to, it tells us to do the 0. So we're going to set shorthand and we're going to type in 0 PX. Make sure you include the PX. So that'll take care of that. Let's go to the CSS file. And you can see the body, it just says margin 0. That means top, bottom, left, and right. That's the shorthand. Then we're going to do everything in the padding as well, but it wants us to do it a little bit differently. So let's go to the padding, and this time it wants us to set it from here, which is 0. Boom. So then we'll go back into the CSS, and it did the exact same thing. That is a setting. If you don't have the shorthand setting turned on, it will just give each one totally different. It'll say left, right, top, and bottom. To me, they both do the same thing. So don't worry about it if it doesn't match. So again, I'm going to save the file. And now we're going to put in a background image, which I am not a very big fan of this one, but we're going to do it anyway. And here is the background image. And we're going to do floor. And that looks kind of, I won't say it, but it doesn't look really good. So we're going to do the background is going to be, for the size, is going to be cover. And that will change it dramatically. And then we're going to do the background attachment is fixed. Boom. Then in the text options, we're going to do Gotham for the text itself. So the font family is going to be Gotham. And we're going to do the font size will be 14. And then font weight will be 300. Normally, I don't make font weight anything bigger than bold or darker than bold, but we're going to do the 300 so you can see it. And then the line height will be 22. Make sure the PX is in there. That takes care of all of 189. And let's look at our results. And it looks pretty similar to what's on the page 190. So we're saving everything. And we'll see you at the next video.